Have you ever been surrounded by people, yet still feel completely alone? Ever laid down at night, exhausted, but your mind refuses to rest? You replay the past, things you should have said, things you wish you'd done differently. Then your thoughts jump ahead. What if I fail? What if I never become who I'm meant to be? Your body is here, but your mind is everywhere else. This is Marco's story. A story about overthinking, about emotional exhaustion, about searching the world for peace, only to discover it was never missing. If you've ever felt mentally tired for no clear reason, stay with me. This might change the way you see your mind forever. Marco was 24 years old, but his mind felt decades older. On the outside, his life looked normal. He woke up every morning, went through the motions, smiled when necessary, answered questions with "I'm fine." But inside, his thoughts never rested. His mind was loud. The past followed him everywhere. Moments he wished he could rewrite. Conversations he replayed again and again. Mistakes that felt bigger at night. Regrets that whispered, "You should have known better." And when the past finally loosened its grip, the future stepped in. What if I never succeed? What if I disappoint everyone? What if I waste my life? These thoughts didn't scream. They whispered, quietly, constantly, until Marco felt drained without doing anything at all. He felt uneasy for no visible reason, tired even after sleeping, anxious without a clear cause. Peace felt like a distant memory, or maybe something he'd never truly known. He tried everything: distractions, music, scrolling endlessly, hoping silence would appear between notifications. But the moment things slowed down, his thoughts returned stronger. One evening, while sitting alone, Marco admitted something he had never said out loud. "I don't want success right now. I don't want money or recognition. I just want my mind to be quiet." That was the moment he decided to search, not for achievement but for peace. He heard rumors of an old man living in a distant village. They said he was once a respected psychologist, someone who understood the human mind deeply. But he had walked away from the noise of the world to live simply. People said he carried wisdom that couldn't be found in books. Marco didn't know if the stories were true, but something inside him said, "Go." Because when your mind feels heavy for too long, even the smallest hope feels worth chasing. The journey to the village was quiet. No loud traffic, just the sound of footsteps and wind. For the first time in a long while, Marco noticed how loud silence could be. His thoughts followed him. What if this is pointless? What if he's just another old man with advice I've already heard? Still, he kept walking. When Marco finally arrived, the village felt different. Slower, calmer, as if time itself had learned how to breathe. He found the old man sitting outside a small home, tending to plants. No phone, no rush, just presence. Marco introduced himself, his voice slightly shaking. "I'm tired," Marco said. "Not physically, mentally." The old man listened, didn't interrupt, didn't analyze, just listened. "I want peace of mind," Marco finally said. "My thoughts won't leave me alone." The old man looked at him kindly, then stood up. "Follow me." He handed Marco a glass filled completely to the brim with water. "Walk to the edge of the village and come back," the old man said. "Don't spill a single drop." Marco was confused but nodded. As he walked, his entire focus locked onto the glass. Every step mattered, every movement calculated. He didn't notice the birds, didn't hear voices, didn't think about yesterday or tomorrow. There was only the glass, only now. When Marco returned, his arms were tense, but his mind felt quiet. The old man smiled. "Did you notice anything on your walk?" he asked. Marco shook his head. "I couldn't. I was too focused." "Exactly," the old man said. "For those moments, your mind had no space for fear, regret, or anxiety. You were fully here." Marco stood still. "You weren't free because the world changed," the old man continued. "You were free because your attention stopped wandering." The old man's words settled slowly. "You've been living everywhere except where you are," he said. "In memories that no longer exist. and futures that haven't happened. Marco felt exposed but relieved. Peace isn't something you find, the old man continued. It's something you practice. When your mind is fully present, it has no room for unnecessary suffering. Marco understood then. His thoughts weren't enemies. They were just undirected. He didn't need to escape his mind. He needed to anchor it. When Marco returned home, nothing externally changed. Same streets, same responsibilities, same life, but something inside him had shifted. When thoughts came, he noticed them without fighting. When fear appeared, he returned to now, to his breath, to the moment, and slowly, the noise softened, not because life became easier, but because his mind stopped running ahead of itself. Peace wasn't a destination. It was a way of being. If this story resonated with you, it's because part of you recognizes yourself in Marco. So here's my question for you. How often is your body present, but your mind somewhere else? If you want more stories like this, stories that calm, ground, and remind you of who you are, like this video, share it with someone who needs peace, and follow for more. And tonight, try holding your own glass of water. Not literally, but by being fully present. Because peace isn't found by escaping life. It's found by finally showing up to it.